Welcome back to another episode of Let's Not Argue with myself, Jay Chris, and the owner of the best new vegan Philly restaurant, Go Vegan Philly,
Yes.
Mr. Sean Thomas. How's it going, brother?
Everything's amazing, man. Everything's amazing. We getting it in. Go Vegan Philly.
Real quick.
Conshohocken, PA.
Yes, Conshohocken.
19428 inside the Eisenberg's Deli.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, because of the shutdown, we're only doing takeout, curbside, pickup. We open Friday and Saturday. After next week, we'll be open Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
Okay, so Friday and Saturday this week? Yep. All right, because I was trying to make some plans.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
All right, so you'll definitely be hearing from me again. I know you're busy, but you'll be hearing from me. Anyway, if you were listening to the last episode, we had some things that we got pretty into. But before we get into that, I just want to let everybody know that because of the people that listen to the show, because of you, we have been accepted on iHeartRadio. We've been accepted on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Deezer, all those different platforms. We're on them. So if you want to go there and hit up Let's Not Argue, that's where we are. All right. Thank you everybody that's supporting the show, and we hope and thank you for your continued support.
Wow, that's awesome. What?
Absolutely.
Man, that's a big deal.
And that's fast too. It's fast too. We're only only a few episodes in, but
right.
That's how we work over here at New Twist Radio. We make things happen.
That's how we do it. Let's do it.
Make things happen. So last week when we were talking, on the last episode, we were talking about a lot of different things. Of course, this is the whole time of the quarantine, stay-at-home order, and so much going on with that. We could talk about that for days on end. We talked about a lot of health, and we talked about mental health, and people deciding on certain things. And I got pretty, I'm not saying emotional, but we hit a topic that touches home with me quite a bit. And we started talking about HBCUs. And, we were talking about, and I'm a graduate of HBCU and also an athlete. I was a student athlete, and I was also a coach, which actually helped lead me onto one of my careers, which is coaching, which I coach baseball now. But we were talking about the deciding factor, I guess, or the lack thereof of star athletes that don't decide to go to HBCUs.
Mm-hmm.
And, for me, my story is a little bit different. I didn't get recruited or anything. Actually, the sport I played, I actually didn't even play. I played 1 year in high school, and that was freshman year, and then I ended up running track. I ended up playing baseball, but I ended up running track for 3 years, and then walked on to the baseball team my sophomore year, made the team. So my journey was a little bit different from most people. A lot of people get recruited. They get, schools reach out to them, whatever the school may be. Sometimes, they get contacted by the coach or assistant coach or whatever the case may be. Sometimes they get a visit and all like that. And then they decide on what school they're going to go to. And a lot of times these blue chip athletes, I'm calling them blue chip athletes, do not decide to go to a HBCU. For whatever the reason may be. Maybe it's the facilities. Maybe they don't think they can make it to the pros from there. Whatever the case may be. And this topic hits home for me because I'm HBCU educated. I'm proud of it. And, I feel like that's always home for me. Now, there might be people that feel like, whatever school they went to is home for them as well. I ain't knocking nobody that didn't go to HBCU. Not at all. Get your education, whatever you want to do your thing, make your decision. But I do have a little bit of a problem with the African-American athlete, the black athlete that gets highly recruited by all these big schools. I'm calling them PWIs, predominantly white institutions. Mm-hmm. And they decide to go with them as opposed to going to HBCU. Now, for me, I'm going to say it like this. I don't know if the PWI is going to love you like an HBCU would. Just being who you are, they gonna love what you can do, what you can do for them, but they're not gonna love you. You say you go down there and let's say you're going to play basketball. Let's say basketball. You go to a PWI and you don't turn out to be what they thought you were going to be, right? Mm-hmm. Now they don't love you now. All that they'll pull your scholarship. They will. They'll pull your scholarship. And you're not worth what we thought you were worth. We're going to take this money from you. Not pay for your own education. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And then that's not now you're in a whole different type of situation.
Right. Right.
They don't love you. They love what you can do
Right.
for them. Okay?
That's it.
They don't
bring the revenue, bring the dollars.
Exactly. That's what it really is. The NCAA college is really on all levels. It's a business. Okay, so let's take it at the HBCU level. A lot of people don't understand this part of it, right? So college football is a huge industry, right? College basketball is a huge industry, and for many schools, smaller schools, not like your North Carolinas and Dukes and all like that, but your smaller schools, maybe your Delaware States, maybe your Delaware, your smaller schools, the football season, the basketball season pays for the entire athletic department because those are a lot of times the only sports that really selling tickets. So that pays for the entire, they get the advertisement, they get all that. They're paying for the entire athletic department for the entire year. So I don't know, Sean, if you ever paid attention to it, but you might see a HBCU playing a school like Michigan and getting blown out. And you're wondering, why the hell would you even take that game? You're getting blown out by 75 points. Well, it's because these HBCUs get paid by these bigger schools to play that game. They might get $100,000, couldn't get $1 million, to their department for playing these games. And in turn, a blue chip athlete might see that and say, I'm not going to that school. They're terrible. I'm going to go to the other school that just blew them out, which on the surface makes complete sense. Why would you want to go somewhere where you're going to get blown out on TV and maybe to a school that you've never heard of? Because nowadays we don't do a good job of promoting the HBCUs like maybe in the 90s. HBCUs in the 90s were huge. They were huge.
Yeah.
Not so much nowadays.
But see,
go ahead.
They can bank on that feeling of people wanting to be famous. They can always bank on that. They can always move out on that. But it's very simple. All black parents got to do is take their five-star black athlete, send them to an HBCU. The marketing dollars will follow where the good players go.
Right. Say it again. Please say that again, please.
The marketing dollars, the advertising dollars will follow where the good players go.
And I'm going to interrupt you right here because I'm going to add to your point and I'm going to let you go again. Do you think if LeBron James had went to Howard University, Cheney University, Lincoln, North Carolina A&T, do you not think that ESPN and everybody else would have followed him on his journey through those schools?
First of all, if he would have went to Grambling or Howard, first of all, first things first, they would have got a whole new stadium.
Oh, absolutely. They would have had.
They would have got a whole. They would have had a whole new stadium.
They would have had.
Yeah, I don't know how many they basketball court hold now, but it would have been quadruple that number.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Because you would have people driving in from out of state that never drove in before to watch him play.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? They would have needed a football stadium. Okay? You know what I'm saying? So there's money right there.
Yes.
You feel me? And that's all you got to do. Now, all the rest of them follow suit. Follow suit.
Right.
You know what I mean? Them kids ain't getting nothing at the white institution anyway.
Nope.
They ain't getting nothing over there that they can't get over there. But that's what, of course the money's over there because y'all keep going over there.
Right.
Of course, the Nike and all of the ABC and CBS, of course they want to play the game because y'all keep going over there. So all of the money is going over there. But if all the good players go somewhere else, that's where all the attention is going to be. They're not just watching it and just throwing money at it just because it's Oklahoma. Right. They're watching it and throwing money at it because Oklahoma has all the good players in the country.
And let me say this. Because to add to that point, let's take Oklahoma because that's what you just said, right? I don't know a whole lot about the ins and outs of Oklahoma, but I'm just taking that as an example. Oklahoma, let's say they have a really good team in football, whatever the case may be. They have a really good team. They're on TV. Now you're getting scholarship funds from every game you watch. A portion, $1 million has been donated to the Oklahoma University Scholarship Fund by Pontiac, by, Little Caesars, whatever the case may be. They're donating money to the scholarship fund. These schools are getting all this money, donated to their programs, to their, to all their programs. Now,
right.
I kind of forgot where I was going with it, but I remember now. Now, if Oklahoma stinks, they're not on TV. Are they still getting that money? No, they're not getting it. They're only getting the money because they're good. You go to an HBCU and you're good, you're gonna get that money.
Right.
There have been very good HBCU teams.
Just look at the pro game. All right, before LeBron goes to Cleveland, their games wasn't televised. Nobody cared to watch a Cleveland Cavaliers game. Okay, I doubt if they was televised in Cleveland. They was so bad. You understand what I'm saying? But as soon as a good player goes there, guess what happens? Boom, ABC. You on primetime, TNT, TBA, you on ESPN, because the best guy in the world is over there.
Yeah. Yep.
You understand what I'm saying? The best guy in the world is there. So imagine if Kobe Bryant would have went to an HBCU.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? Imagine that. Imagine if the Mamba would have went to an HBCU. That school, there's not much money that school would have pulled in just by him being there.
Just by him being there, it'd have been amazing.
And let's see if he would have stayed for a few years and not just bailed out after one. We just stayed there and graduated. You know how much money? Now, look, Kobe, the best player in the country is over there. Now, all the other players that's not number one look like, oh, man, I'm going to go play over there with Kobe.
Go play with Kobe. Absolutely.
Just look how they did in Michigan when they got 5 of the best players in the country, or the top 100 players in the country. They got 5 of them.
Mm-hmm.
All of a sudden, Michigan is, you know what I'm saying, looking like a dream team. And all of the promoting, marketing, all the advertising is going right there.
Absolutely.
It's going right there.
Absolutely.
If the top 5 players in the country decide to go to William and Mary going to be on TV every day.
Every day.
They're going to be TV. All their games going to be. It's that simple. But we got to get out of this. See, it's so rooted. It's deeply rooted in racism, institutional racism, self-hatred.
Yes.
You don't even value your stuff and the things that you have.
Yes.
Stop. You don't even value it.
Because, like you said, a lot of us are only exposed to what's on ABC, CBS, NBC, and those are the big schools. Notre Dame has had a contract with NBC for years that their games are going to be televised on NBC. They're almost their entire season televised on NBC. So there's a lot of Notre Dame fans out there. Do you know how a lot of people, how the Dallas Cowboys became America's team? Do you know that? Do you know that story?
I'm listening.
All right. So just like Notre Dame, the Cowboys had a contract with whatever network that they were going to be on TV, national TV, like every week. So a lot of times, like if you watch football here, you're going to see the Eagles game here in Philadelphia. And then you'll see, let's say the Eagles play at 1, then at 4:00 you'll see, some other game. It really wasn't like that I shouldn't say way back when, but like 67, wasn't like that. Okay, you'll probably see your local game, maybe, but you're going to see a Cowboys game every week. You might see a Steelers, and I think the Steelers were the next team. You're going to see a Steelers game all over the country. And that's how a lot of people end up becoming fans of the Cowboys, of the Steelers, and that's why they end up being called America's team, because they were visible. They were seen. Okay? It's all business. Now, same case in college. If you're going to be televised, you're going to be seen. You're going to be exposed to these teams. These black schools are not exposed on a national basis. Now, I can remember when, may rest in peace, Steve McNair played football for Alcorn State. Alcorn State was at HBCU. I personally had never heard of Alcorn State. I've heard of HBCUs, but I'd never heard of Alcorn State. Alcorn State's games were being televised on ESPN. He was on SportsCenter, showing his highlights, because he was he was the Michael Vick before Michael Vick was Michael Vick. Okay?
Right.
He was like the next Randall Cunningham. He could run it, he could throw, he could do it all.
Right.
And they were showing these games on ESPN just because it's Steve McNair. They called him Steve Air McNair. Now, unfortunately, a lot of times it wasn't followed suit. That people didn't follow up and then go to Alcorn and all like that. Excuse me, to follow him or play with him or whatever the case may be. Of course, the very next season after all the popularity, he got drafted. I think he was a senior. He ended up getting drafted. But if we were exposed to more of that,
right,
these athletes will go. Which leads me to,
and not only that, if we just going to sit back and wait for white people to tell us what's valuable and what's not, then that's how we're gonna operate. That's all it is. I mean, it's that simple. We just waiting on white people to tell us what's good and what's bad.
We said that. I would encourage everyone to listen to last week's episode in which we were talking about the Hollywood and
You know what I'm saying?
and Tyler Perry, difference between Hollywood and Tyler Perry's studio.
Yeah.
Not much
You know
different.
what I'm saying?
Not much different.
His is probably better.
Probably.
You know what I'm saying?
Probably.
You know what I'm saying? We don't know his, but until white people recognize it, then we'll recognize it.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So we still stuck in that mentality.
Unfortunately, that's how, yeah.
That's how we operate.
So it's
which
almost
is sad.
It's almost like I take New Twist Radio, right? You'll have friends that always say, "Yo, cool, yeah, I'll support you. You know, I listen to whatever the case may be." But a lot of times, some people won't listen until they hear other people listen that they don't even know. Oh, you listen to that? Oh, that's my man. Yeah. So then they start listening. You understand what I'm saying? So, I'm sure you probably ran into that
that's been a majority of my life. You know, I was an artist before this, so
right.
I know how that gets. It's like, you know, is that acceptance. You know what I'm saying? We don't want to just accept ourselves and our own and say, man, this is good enough right here. We're gonna make this the best school because I'm going to go here and make it the best.
Right.
That way, when we do play the so-called big universities, Ohio or whatever, we're going to blow them out because now Alcorn State, Grambling, or Howard has the best player in the country.
Right.
Has the best player. You know what I'm saying? It's always, you know, a downtime, even with the Chicago Bulls, until what? We get Michael Jordan.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Until we get Michael Jordan, and then it's on. Right. Cleveland, trash until we get LeBron, then it's on. Right. Lakers, trash until we get LeBron, then it's on. You know what I'm saying? And they wasn't televising those games once Kobe retired. I ain't see a Lakers game on. There wasn't no reason to have it on.
People don't
ain't nothing there. You know what I'm saying? So
eyeballs equals the money.
So even at the professional level that happens. You know what I'm saying? And that ain't nothing personal. It's just, man, ain't nobody there. What you want to televise? Y'all getting blown out? You know what I'm saying? Y'all just making turnovers the whole game? No, we want to see some 360 dunks, some crossovers. Y'all ain't got nobody. Right. You know what I'm saying? Y'all ain't got nobody.
So there was an idea that was put out there. I don't exactly remember who it was. It was around the time when LeVar Ball had created his own basketball league, and it was kind of just after Ice Cube had created the Big Three. And the idea was, the idea was to go to these HBCUs and create their own league with the HBCUs. Okay, so because of the whole conversation, this is a whole nother conversation of the NCAA making all the money off the athletes and the athletes not getting a thing, right? So there was the idea of all the black schools get together, create their own league, still college, but they create their own league. They separate from the NCAA as a institution and create their own league and pay their athletes. And I thought that was a great idea personally because, for one, you know, the athletes are going to be compensated for their talents.
It's an awesome idea.
Number two, you might get the athletes. You might get the blue chip athletes going to a HBCU, which brings more attention to the HBCUs, which I feel like for our community is needed for the people that want to take that route. For the people that want to go to get that, get a higher education, because programs at HBCUs
first of all,
are the same.
First of all, we got a lot of great, not just athletes, but a lot of great minds in our community that get left behind because, of course, the white institutions just gonna handpick who they want for the reasons that they want them.
Right.
Now you got these boys and girls that have been practicing this one thing damn near all their lives, and they can't even get a professional job in it. They can't even get because we don't have an institution for them. Just not, like I said, just not even just about sports. Just look at our children that want to become doctors or scientists. We don't even have a laboratory where they can practice the science. They have to go get a job from white folks.
Right.
Guess what happened?
Hold on. Let me. I hope I'm not stealing your shine here. But what happens when, just like with athletes, what happens when they go into these schools and do their studies and they discover like a cure for cancer or something? You know what happens?
White people own that.
Exactly. Exactly. The institution.
Okay,
You get not
the
a dime. The
institution owns it.
institution owns it. Absolutely.
But
Just like the
that goes
athletes.
to what I'm about to say,
Go
because
ahead. Go ahead.
now you go through all of this school, you get a degree, and it's only going to be worth white people say it's worth. They determine the value of that piece of paper.
Mm-hmm.
They determine the value, whether it's worth $30,000 a year or $230,000 a year. But still, you have to wait on us to hire you to do something with that piece of paper we gave you, because your people have no institutions for you to go.
Right.
Even though your people are suffering from disease the most, your people got obesity, diabetes, right? We suffer from institutional racism, all that. Now, you want to help fix your people, but you can't, because your people ain't got a laboratory for you to do that in.
Mm.
So now when you go on the other side of town and you get a job from them, you work for them, which means you're working on solving their problems, not your communities.
Right.
They didn't hire you to work on helping your mama. They hired you to help work on their mama.
Right. Right. And
that's what happens.
And let's take it to on a whole different scale. Let's take it with the radio business. Okay, if you're working for, let's say there are black-owned communication companies, Radio One, created by a black woman. Okay, Kathy Hughes. But if you're not in a black-owned, like there's a few. I'm not going to name. There's other companies out there that you and I may not be able to have this conversation on those stations.
That's thank God for the internet.
Right.
Thank God for the internet. Now we can talk, because before that there's like 5,000 radio stations and we own none. Right. 12,000. So we had none. We had zero, maybe 12, and then that went down to about 6 or 2. We had none. Newspapers, none. This means we had no way to communicate with our people.
None.
We had no way to communicate with our people when we need to. Just like now in this, no black hospitals.
None.
So you don't know if you're being told the truth. Lie, you don't know nothing. You don't even have that black hospital you can go to and get you some honest answers, some honest diagnosis. Mm-hmm. You have to keep going to them and relying on them and trusting what they're telling you, even though their history shows they can't be trusted.
Throughout history.
Okay, throughout history. You know what I'm saying? You expecting some people to show you goodwill whose history shows they don't have no goodwill. We will give 600 of you black men syphilis and watch you die, knowing we gave it to you. Now, let you take that syphilis back to your community and spread that around.
And make money off of the study.
And make money off of it. Mm-hmm. Okay? This is all the time, every time. So in a time like this, it would be wonderful to have black hospitals. It would be wonderful to have our own schools. We wouldn't be a part of that system, their system, all the time. Right. Yeah, I mean, it's just, that ain't nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? That ain't, hating other people or don't like this people or don't associate with this people. This just means have your own systems in place just in case that system fails you.
And there's every community has their own systems in place except for
every
us. Community
except for us. Our system is their system. Their system is the one we operate on.
And to another point, when we try to do it, we're looked at as they want to call us racist because we're trying to do something for ourselves. They don't say that to the Asian man. They don't say that to the Arab man. They don't say that to the Irish man.
Their whole system banks on and survives on our energy.
Right.
If I let you dedicate your energy to yourself, then they have nothing. Okay, it's not a mystery that how they got everything. Of course, their children don't have to rob and steal because your mother and father keep giving me all your money.
Right.
So of course, my children don't have to go out and sell crack, rob and steal, and do all of that crazy stuff to try to eat and get $1. Because every time y'all get $1, y'all give it to me. All your money is in their pocket.
Right. We get the $1 from them and go back and give it right back to them.
It's very simple, man.
A lot of cases.
It's very simple. So they don't have more than us because they work harder. Work is something they ain't never done. Mm. All right. What was the sense of making us slaves if they was down to work? They ain't gonna do the work. You do the work, and we ain't gonna pay you. Everything you're looking at, we built. Everything.
We're gonna benefit off it forever.
Okay, that's the whole point of slavery. That's the whole point of that labor, was to put all of the power, wealth, money into the dominant society, into one hand, white people's hands. and now they got it, and now they don't need your labor. So now, now that we talking about college and HBCUs, what you still sending your kid to college for?
See, and I was going, and I was going to actually go right back to. I'm glad you went there. A lot of people don't realize the HBCUs were created because of slavery and what transpired after slavery.
Right.
Because
and
we weren't allowed to go to these other schools.
Right. And even with that, this is how they do it. Even with that, it still ain't ours because they'll name it after them. Howard. General Howard, yeah. Famous for killing black Indians. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right, Spelman. That's Rockefeller's mama. She ain't no good. Ain't none of them no good. So even the school we go to is named after evil. So what good what you gonna get out of it?
That's right. That's why we gotta get into the system.
Okay, and we wear that across our chest. Howard, you wearing some evil man that killed black children across your chest. And thank you, somebody. Thank you, favored by God. What God got you wearing that across your chest? It's a thug. Ain't nothing but a thug.
And a lot of times we don't research some of these things. Right?
Yeah, that's our problem. That's another problem.
So I'll give you a personal story. I went to the University of Maryland Eastern Shore. Okay. It's a Maryland state institution. Okay. HBCU. Once known before it was Maryland Eastern Shore, it was Maryland State because it was, I believe well, let me not jump ahead or jump behind. It was Maryland State and then became Maryland Eastern Shore because then it became part of the University of Maryland system. Okay. Before that, long before it, actually, when it was kind of first instituted, it was Princess Anne. I forgot the complete name. I'm sorry, alum. It was Princess Anne something. It was created by people in that area because they couldn't go to the PWIs in the area. So it was a school. It was actually a school for from kindergarten all the way through college, so they can be educated there. And then they built up the land and all like that. But prior to me going there, the reason I even started telling, prior to me going there, I knew nothing about that. I knew nothing about that. So I didn't do the research of the institution. And a lot of times we don't do the research of the institution. We just hear about what the institution can probably do for us, or, what we can get from the institution. But I didn't know that. And it wasn't until after I graduated from college and years later down the line that I found out Howard University was not founded by a black man. I believe it was founded by a white man. And some other schools around, along the line. One school that I do want to do a little more research on is a school that I was going to go to down in Daytona Beach, Bethune-Cookman College, named after Mary McLeod Bethune. I'm going to do some research on that because I'm very interested in knowing about, the whole thing there. And they told us, but I was young and dumb and ignorant at the time. I wasn't really paying attention. I was looking at the girls I was down there with, what I'm saying? All the distractions.
Of course.
Teenager, 20 years old.
That's what college is.
Yeah, exactly. So, down Daytona Beach, in the summertime, and it's the beach.
I don't trust nobody that say they wasn't drinking when they went to college.
Well, I ain't even. That's a whole nother show.
I don't trust nobody that said he wasn't partying.
That's a whole nother show right there. I tell you what, the person that wasn't partying when they was in college probably created coronavirus. But I'm not saying.
Right.
I'm not saying.
Right.
I'm not saying.
Right. The only one.
I'm not saying.
They're about to bring the earth down to his knees.
Absolutely. So, I mean, with all that being said, man, I really, from a personal standpoint, I really, if you decide that you want to go the college route. Now, I'm also one that personally feels like a lot of employment opportunities or business opening opportunities, whichever route you want to go, you don't need to go the college route anymore. Okay, there are certain ones. If you want to be a lawyer, you got to study right. You want to be a doctor, you got to study right. If certain things, there are many professions in which you need that education, the further the higher education. Okay, but for me to right now running a radio station, now, like I said, I am college educated, but I personally probably did not have to be college educated to do this.
Yeah.
I didn't have to.
My problem with this, my thing with this, it ain't so much being against college or school. Is we don't send our children to school for anything other than to get a job. And that's the most worst thing you could tell a black child.
Completely agree.
Because nobody else just send their kids to school just for that. There's more transcendent reasons why a child goes to school. It's far greater reasons why the Jews send them kids to school. It's far greater reasons why them Asians send them kids to school. And that's the worst thing you could say. Worst thing. Because Lord knows it ain't going to be no job, first of all.
Right.
And it's robbery. The stuff that they teaching you is going out of style.
Absolutely.
Only for you to graduate to realize that job, that thing they was preparing you for, that whatever they were teaching is out of style. Most people that's earning money right now is earning money doing something other than the thing they went to school for.
Absolutely right.
It's rare. It's
Absolutely
rare.
Right.
Unless you went to school to be a doctor or a lawyer. It's rare that somebody is actually in the, you know what I'm saying?
And you know what? And I didn't realize that at first. That's not something I realized at first. I actually, when I got out of school, I actually I was working at a TV station. So I was working in the broadcast business when I graduated. And then as soon as I graduated, I went to a station closer to, in the Philadelphia area. So, you know, I immediately was working in my own, I immediately was working in my own industry as soon as I graduated. But I didn't realize until somebody else told me like how fortunate I was to be working in my industry, because a lot of people weren't doing that. And I didn't even realize that. I didn't realize it, and I probably took it for granted. But it was just, you know, I just didn't realize that people were not working in their industry.
You know how many people you got went to college, got a degree, and they ain't doing nothing that they got a degree in. They working odd jobs just to make the ends meet.
Completely right. You're so right.
Okay? They doing it just to try to make, come on, man. My man ain't worth nothing because it's theirs. They can make it not worth nothing whenever they feel like it. So that means that we in trouble.
And I want to send this message out. If you are going to go to college, right? If you're going to go and go after your higher education, which, you know, I encourage people to do if that's what you want to do. I would encourage you to also learn how to create your own business. Create your own. So you know, so you'll be working. So you'll be doing what you want to do. And hopefully,
absolutely, I encourage you to first, like with my children. First thing first, be your own boss.
Yes.
Be your own boss. I mean, you can get a job by default. You can accidentally get a job. Mm-hmm. I ain't never on purpose got a job. I ain't never on purpose got a job. Mm-hmm. I got a job just because somebody was either upset at me for not having a job. Okay, all right, I'll go get a job. I ain't never on purpose. Just like my ambition was to get a job. Mm-hmm. Right. Like, no. You can get that by default. You can get that. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna be working right next to somebody who ain't never been to school. Here you is with a college education. You ain't here working with somebody dropped out in 8th grade. Y'all in the same building. Right. The same building, living on the same block, living next door to somebody on Section 8. You got all these degrees. It don't better your life in no way. I remember growing up looking at people. They got all these 9 degrees on the wall, and I'm thinking like, damn, how you still in the ghetto? Mm. I thought you can accomplish living in the ghetto without that. Right. You can accomplish living around this filth without it. I don't care. I don't care what nobody thinks. Do not care. Don't hype me up and suit me up on this garbage.
That's why I said.
On this garbage, I can accomplish living that stressful life. I can do that by myself. Right. I can. You know what I'm saying? I don't need. No, to go to school to still be, I'm on the same block with everybody that played around in school. Ain't do no work. Mm-hmm. So, you know what I'm saying? I could have just cheated too on my test. If I was going to have the same lifestyle and do the same things, just souping them up on this job, I'm telling you, this ain't about race. This ain't about, white man ain't got no job for your son, your daughter. Ain't going to have one. Ain't never going to have one. If he did have a job, he sent it over to China.
Yeah, because where they go.
He sent it somewhere else. Okay.
That's where they go.
Okay. Ain't gonna have one. I don't blame him for it. Hey, the cost is low. I ain't blaming you. I ain't saying it's a bad move. It's business.
Yeah, it's business.
It's business. Unless your child moved to China and want to work in that factory for $2 a day, then he ain't got no job here for him.
And then
because you want too much.
On
okay?
another note, here we are struggling because of that. Because jobs got sent over China. Look at it now.
Okay, all right. That was the whole point of you being the slave. It was free, cheap labor. That's what they into. Free, cheap labor. The moment you started wanting to be free and start wanting to be paid for the job, all of a sudden, ain't no more jobs.
Right.
Everybody had a job during slavery. It wasn't an unemployed body in the country.
Nope.
The moment you get free, okay, the moment you get free, all of a sudden, this word called unemployment. Right. Oh, you want to? Yeah, because I want to get paid now. Mm-hmm. Oh, well, I ain't got no job. Mm-hmm. And you keep thinking that. Go ahead. You in trouble. You going to be in trouble. You keep thinking that because you go ahead. I know you like. I know it make you all mushy in the face and in the heart because your kid got a cap and gown and graduated, and they gonna be living with your ass from the moment they step out of that cap and gown. Right in your house, 35 years old and 40, they gonna still be in that room with New Kids on the Block poster on the wall. Okay, that's what's gonna happen. You teach them to do for self first.
I hated New Kids on the Block.
So did I.
I hated them. I couldn't understand it, but look, we gonna end it there, man, because
And still, I'm not saying don't go, but for what? I encourage all children to ask the parents. For what, Mom? For what, Dad? Give them a reason. Give them something. Not just go, you get a job, or you just gonna go because you in my house, and that's what I say. That's when you lose them right there. Because now you just talking BS.
Let me say something to that, because I'm not going to give the whole story, but I was talking to my aunt one day, and we were talking about a situation, and she had said something to me about a lot of Hispanic households, it's the culture, or it's part of their culture to have a lot of family in the house. You'll have 3 generations, 4 generations under one roof. Because
you are
partly
killing.
Partly because of the economics.
Yeah,
right. Partly because of the economics, but that's just part of their culture. So they know they know how to live. But I know a lot of times in our culture, we're like, all right, you're 18, get out.
No, yeah, right, and that's bad. That's horrible. That's horrible. Especially our children. They're at the bottom. They barely ready to do anything outside, let alone live in their own.
And a lot of times we coddle our children coming up.
The Asian community too. Right now, across the street from me, the Mongolians, man, they kids live with them. That boy got to be about 30, 31 years old. Him and his wife live with his mom and his daddy.
And it's economics.
Economics, man.
They're practicing group economics right in the house.
That's right.
Right in the house.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
That's right. Listen. I have never, ever, ever in my life been in a soul food restaurant or many black-owned establishment that just had mad other cultures just in there spending money with them. I don't remember my lifetime ever going to a soul food restaurant and seeing they Asian in there trying to buy some food.
Nah, I can't.
An Asian family.
No.
All right, but you in a Chinese store restaurant with your whole family.
This is great.
You don't even know what it is. A gizzard.
Right.
Well, where did that come from?
With some fried duck sauce on
it. Okay, but you got your whole family in there.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I ain't telling you what to do. This is not don't spin your money. No, you do what you want to do.
It's an observation.
But you should always make sure that you have a system for yourself, just in case they start to act a fool,
right? Like
they are now in China, beating them black African people up and black people over there, telling them to get out, dragging them out their apartments and doing all that. See, just in case they start to act a fool, we'll have a place for our people to go. We don't have, if shit pop off now in America, where black people going to go? Asians could go back to Asia. Africans can go back to Africa. Italians go back to Italy. Everybody can go somewhere. Where you going to go? You ain't got, we are homeless.
Yep.
Where you going to go? We've been on Earth for 1 million years and somehow still homeless. We've been here, man. We've been here. hundreds of thousands of years. There's evidence right now showing you for hundreds of thousands of years, black people were living in Europe before white people ever showed up. And somehow it's theirs now, and you recognize it as theirs. You was there 100,000 years before they even ever spotted a Caucasian.
Right. Right. Look at the history. Look at the history.
But look at the white man. The white man will tell you. He'll tell you everywhere I went, I saw black people everywhere on earth.
There's a study of oh man, I wish I didn't bring it up right now because I don't have all the information. But I worked at a station in Delaware, and they had this doctor come in. I can't remember his name, and I'm going to find the book. And actually, I'm going to bring the book to you. There's a DVD and a book, and I would love to share this with you. But he was talking about how black folks live. There's black folks all over the world. Like we're in places that you wouldn't even think there's black. Like in Russia, there's blacks in Russia. And I'm not talking about African Americans. I'm talking about black Russians. In Fiji, there's black people in Fiji. There's black people in
oh man, you will get some Chinese, some Asians darker than Manu Bowl, blacker than Wesley Snipes.
Yes, and you would not believe, like you, if you didn't know, you wouldn't. Like that was so eye opening to me at that time. That's probably a good, man. It's probably a good 15. No, it's probably a good between 10 and 15 years ago when I met this man. I'm going to try to find this stuff. I'm going to share it with you when I can find it. But it was so eye opening to me at that time because we weren't talking about that type of stuff at that time. But he did the studies. He went. He traveled to all these different countries, found black people in all these different countries, wrote a book about it and all like that. It was amazing stuff, man. It was amazing stuff. And I can't wait to share that with you and with the audience as well. And got to figure out where I put it. But I'm definitely going to find that, and we could talk about that.
Yeah, man. But you know what I'm saying? Like I said, they tell you everywhere I went, man, they saw black people everywhere. No matter what piece of soil they landed on, they saw black people, blue black people,
right?
Black. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's how they figured it out. Like, man, we the minority. So now we got to reverse everything and make them think that they're the minority. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? It still, to this day, you know what I'm saying? This places you go, man, it's just all black. Everywhere you go, black. It was, when white people got outside of their setting, they didn't see any more white people. They got outside of the mountains, the caves and all that, they didn't see any more white people. They had to go black, like, hey, it's black out there. It's black all around that planet. It's black. We got to do something about this. We got to do something. That's the minority. They're 1/10 of the Earth population, man. 3%, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And, like I said, just say, do what you want to do. I ain't telling you to hate nobody. We won't never serve hate speech at all. You do what you want to do. I don't care if you want to be segregated, integrated, whatever. But you got to make sure that along them lines, you have a setup, a system, a house for your people. Everybody else do, just in case. The Chinese got to set up just in case that white man start to act stupid. We got something for him.
Right.
And the white man is saying, just in case they start acting stupid, we got something. Mm-hmm. Black people just out here like lolly. Everybody act a fool with us, and we still got to patronize them. We still got to beg and march and picket sign and all of that crap. Yeah. Ain't nobody else begging to be our friend. Ain't nobody else picketing for black people acceptance. Well, we out here picketing for everybody to accept us. Accept yourself.
Yeah, we got to accept ourselves
Accept
first.
yourself.
We got to accept ourselves first.
When you accept yourself, it don't matter who don't accept you. I accept me. I don't care. Mm-hmm. I don't care. Why do I care? I'm cool. But when somebody wants to hate us, it hurts our whole life.
Yes.
When white people decide they want to hate us, guess what happens? Put this disease in this needle.
We got all up in arms.
All right, put this disease in this needle. I don't like him. Mm-hmm. You know what? Tell him he ain't allowed in this school. I don't like him. Tell them to get on the back of the bus. We don't like them. Tell them they can't eat at this counter. When they decide that they don't like us, it hurts our whole soul. They can just keep hitting us and kill our whole everything. Our whole world is crushed because we don't have nothing. We don't have nothing. What if they just fire all the black people right now today? Just fire them. Just get them out of here. Where they gonna work? Black people ain't got nowhere for them to work.
Right. We're gonna be begging other people.
We're gonna be begging other people. Now, Asian man, can you help me? No. Indian man, can you help me? No. Italian man, no. Arab, can you help me? No. Hispanic, can you help me? No. They trying to help their stuff. They only got jobs for their kids. Mm-hmm. You ain't got none for yours.
They gonna take care of theirs first. They're gonna take care of theirs
that's
first.
Right, as they should. First law of nature, self-preservation.
Mm-hmm. Right. Right.
We missed that. We missed that step. We think first law of nature means go out and try to get accepted by everybody. That's what we think. No, self-preservation. All right, so they can decide right now, like they are now in New York. They cut 50% of the black people that live in New York all work in fast food. That's a damn shame.
Wow.
50% of the black population in New York City works fast food restaurants. Okay, what that mean? 50% of the black people in New York are unemployed, about to be unemployed because robots are about to do that job.
How about
robots are about to get? So now, how they gonna eat? Where they gonna work? Where they gonna work? Jay-Z ain't got enough jobs for every nigga. Where they gonna work?
And just to reiterate on your point, I went to McDonald's one day, right there on on Lancaster Avenue, Auburn. I wanted some fries, right? For some reason, I wanted some fries. I don't even really eat fries like that. I want some fries. I go up to the counter, right? And I'm looking at the lady, and she wasn't taking my order. I'm like, all right, I'm ready. She's like, oh, you gotta go right there. I was like, right where? She's pointing behind me. I'm like, what the hell? Behind? I'm thinking, all right, I sit down, y'all come out and take my order. Damn, McDonald's done came up, right?
Kiosk.
It was a kiosk behind me. I gotta come out here and hit on the screen, like, yo, this is what I want right here. I want this, that, and the third. And she had to come out. I'm like, wait a minute. So I'm like, so this is how I'm supposed to order from McDonald's now? Like this, because I don't go to McDonald's that much, but I'm like, this is how I order from McDonald's now, and so that means you're going to be out of a job soon.
That's right. Only person that they're going to need there is a maintenance person, just in case the kiosk, malfunctions, and they just got to fix it real quick, 5 minutes, and then fix it. Okay, it's back.
Right.
But that's it. You ought to be out of a job because it's a low skill job. Not only is it low paying, it's low skilled. Anything low skill can be replaced by a computer.
Absolutely.
Anything low skill can be replaced because ain't nobody fitting to give you $20 to push a button with a burger on it. To take somebody's order.
You know what
can't
be replaced?
With a French fry on it.
You know what can't be replaced? When you're your own boss.
That's it. You can't be fired. You can't. You know what I'm saying? And you can create jobs, and they can't tell you to get that person. Give a robot that person. No.
Sean, even doctors, even these days, doctors are being replaced by robots. Maybe there's a doctor working a robot, but their surgeries sometimes are being done by a robot.
By robots. You know what I'm saying? So, you can teach them how to do that.
Right.
But that's why you need to be teaching your children tangible skills, man, stuff they can do with their hands, stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Because that's, what I'm saying, that's always going to be needed. People can work with their hands, do that type of thing, and work with their mind, man. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, they can decide right now, tonight, you know what, fire every black person. Get them out. I don't care if they're scientists, doctor, whatever. Because they all work for white people. Mm-hmm. They all work at white institutions. So if the white institutions is suffering, if white people, like we said, if white people catch a cold, black people catch pneumonia.
Yeah.
If they could decide right now, just let all of them niggas go. Excuse my language. Let all of them go. Let all them get them out of here. Where they gonna go? They can't go back to their people and they can't work nowhere.
Right.
They just unemployed. They can't. You got close to 3 million, 2.5, maybe more than that. Black people with master's degrees that's unemployed. Yeah. That's unemployed. So what do you do with 40 plus million black people that you no longer have use for? What do you do?
And let me. I'm gonna start to wrap it up, but I just want to remind you. You remember when, I guess late '90s, around the time we were in the high school age. You remember? You remember what they were telling us like about New World Order? Do you remember they were telling us like in like 20 years you're going to need a master's degree to work at McDonald's? You remember them telling us that?
Yep. And guess what?
They ain't gonna be working there either. But they ain't gonna be working there either. You do need the master's degree because you might have to be one of the people on the board.
Right. But they don't need you in that store.
They don't know.
But you remember when we was growing up, that was a teenager's job. We couldn't wait to go work at Wendy's, McDonald's. That was a job for a 17-year-old.
Right.
18-year-old. Now the average age in there is 30 years old.
Yes, you're absolutely right. Going there and the people you're definitely older.
Okay, older. They older than us.
Yeah. Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Working in there. I'm like, damn, I get to you go through the drive-thru and look up at the person and you're like, damn, she like 47. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And that's her job. It ain't like an odd job, like a side job, like she's just trying to get. No, that's where she works full time. Because no matter what time I go through there, she there.
Times have changed.
or he there.
Right. Times have changed with that. It used to be like when we were coming up, if somebody older was working there, they were working there to like help their kid pay for college or something like
Yeah.
that.
Like I said, it was just, this is my side thing.
Right,
What's
help
next?
make
You work
ends
at a
meet.
school or, yeah. No.
No, now
But
it's
again,
totally different.
we don't pay attention. We just sit back and wait for white folks to tell us what to do, tell us how to move, tell us what's in, tell us what's out. When we can clearly see that, wait a minute, this ain't even going to be in style in 30 years, in 20 years, in 10 years.
Right.
So why would I waste my time souping my kid's head up and my own head up on this when this is not going to be here? It's not going to be. Remember that commercial to Calvin? Calvin went from fries to manager.
Yeah.
I ain't never in my life met a person went from fries to owning the McDonald's. Ever. I ain't met one. All right. And that's never going to happen now because, like I said, the robots is doing that now. So Calvin is a robot now.
Right.
Calvin is a robot. So and they only ran that commercial in our community. They ain't ran that commercial in white people community. Suit their kids up on a McDonald's job.
Yeah, how about it?
They ain't ran that commercial. What was the Becky? Becky went from fries to. I ain't seen that one.
Nope, never saw it. And it's funny, and I do want to wrap it up, but I've noticed, like, because I work in advertising, it's part of my business is advertising. I work in advertising. I pay attention. To the advertising that are on different stations, whether it be radio stations, TV stations, whatever the case may be. The advertising is different. If I'm watching BT, TV One, the advertising is different than the advertising on USA and TNT.
Oh, yeah.
The advertising is different on the sports radio station than it is on Power 99.
Oh yeah,
totally
absolutely,
different.
totally.
Totally.
When they get that target audience, what they call target,
God,
target audience,
it's crazy. It's ridiculously crazy. And you go to somebody like, have you seen that commercial? Blah blah. No, I ain't seen that commercial. I never seen that commercial before. And it's old by that time.
Think about this: a black child sitting in front of the television. The only time they see, and this is black versus white. Only time when they see a black family on TV is mad dysfunctional. Mad dysfunctional. I'm talking about from your Love and Hip Hop to your Basketball Wives to your Real House of Atlanta to your, it's mad dysfunctional. The men are bickering like girls. The fussing, cussing, fighting, arguing. Mad dysfunctional. Then when they show a white family, it's nice and wholesome.
Oh yeah.
The family has dinner around the dinner table.
Everybody loves
King
of Queens.
Everybody. Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay. You know what I'm saying? The Big Bang Theory, 5 white geniuses.
Mm-hmm. Now it wasn't totally like that when we were coming up. It was different when we were coming up. But
yeah, we had some femmes, but they got rid of that.
They got rid of that.
They trying to get smart. Oh no,
they got rid of that. They got rid of the Cosbys. They got rid of different worlds. They got rid of.
If I'm a black child, what do I say to myself? It looks like this is something more that I want to do over here. These white people, how they doing it? Because all I see over here is just craziness, and I don't want to be a part of that.
Right.
I don't want to be a part of that.
That's probably why I'm hoping that with Tyler Perry's studio, we get more quality programming. Because it's all programming, but we get if you understand what I'm saying there, we get more quality programming coming out of his studio that from people that look like us. And I know Dame Dash has created he's been very vocal about how we look on certain networks and the people that are running those networks. He's been very.
The thing about it is, when they say it's a black production, there's only a black production if it's black money, black actors, the black people own the cameras, black people own the studio, and the black people is okay in it. That's a black production. It's not a black production just because there's black people in the movie.
Right.
If white people got to okay it, it's not a black production. And they're not going to okay nothing that puts you in a good light. They're going to okay all the negative, all the stereotypical stuff. That's why all the males from on Power to Empire to all the males are on some crazy, dope, dysfunctional crap.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Because this is the image that white people have carved out for you, and this is what you're going to play out. But you know what? I'm not blaming them. I'm blaming us because we accept it. We accept it.
Right.
We accept it to say, okay, I'll play that role. No, I'm not going to play that role. No, I'm not. It's been done. It's redundant, right? It shouldn't be the dope dealer, the black drug lord of the community who cheats on his wife and sleeps around and shoots and kills everybody and has a bad relationship with his son. It's been done before, right? It's kind of ran the whole right. So we should be able to do something else. Why are we still running that role?
Right.
Or why are we still playing that role?
Right.
Huh?
Right.
Terrence Howard and Omari Hardwick. Why are we still running this role, man? Okay, for our people, because we know our people are the ones that consume it the most.
They consume it the most,
right.
but then it also scares other people, which in turns ends up getting a shot for no reason.
Yeah, because now if I'm white and I do watch some TV and I see you in that role, I think this is who y'all are. This is who you are.
Exactly.
Because I only get my references from rap music and television, rap videos and stuff like that, TV. I only get my references to black because they don't live around us. They don't live with you. Hell no, they ain't never gonna do that. Right. I mean, when you move in, they move out. All right, so they only reference to who you are. They don't know that there's black doctors, black lawyers, black engineers, black instructors. They don't know that because that's not what's on TV.
Right.
That's not what's in rap music. All you is the thug on TV, and all you is the thug on your music. That's it. And so when they meet you, of course they clutch their purse.
I'm hoping we change that. I'm hoping Tyler Perry changes. I'm hoping Dame Dash changes. I'm hoping I change it because
but because you better than me. You better than me. I don't hope because we've been hoping for too long and we ain't never got what we hoped for.
Yeah, that's true.
And it ain't gonna start today. You either do or you don't. Ain't no such thing as hope.
I want to change it in our community. I'm not really worried about how other people look at us because technically my programming really is not for others, for our people.
And so far, what Tyler Perry has produced has been bullcrap, the same bullcrap that white people can produce.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
I haven't seen. I don't even know what he's producing. To be honest.
Yeah, I mean, all that stuff that's on BET or whatever it is, that's just the same old crap, man. Same old stereotypical black people crap. Black people crap, man. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man, cut it out, man.
For ourselves.
Come on, man. Even when you playing Medea, like, man, I don't know no old ass lady that acts like that. I don't know old black lady that act like that, man. You serving white people exactly what they want. Like, it's one thing to have some young black male on your program running around with a pistol or whatever. Okay, good, a young dude. Okay, feeling just young and dumb. You got this old lady that been through all this, went through all this. Like, this is how she act with her own people. She only pulled a pistol out and do all this on her own people. And act all crazy and ratchet. And I don't know no old grandma. I don't know grandmama act like that. But that's cool, and that's why he make $1 billion off it because white people give him that check because you're just making people look stupid, man. Of course you got your own studio. Of course you got a $500 million. Of course, all your roles is stereotypical bull crap, man. That stuff makes me sick. Let's see how much money you make. Let's see how much money they give you when you get a righteous role. When you make black people look like gods, kings, and queens, let's see how much they pay you then. Let's see how many networks pick up that show.
Yeah, I've been waiting there was an advertisement I saw for a cartoon, and it was like a superhero type cartoon, but it was all black characters, and they were like kings and queens from like I want to say they were like pharaohs or something, but they were also superheroes at the same time. I haven't seen that on TV yet. I've seen the advertisements on social media, but I haven't seen it on TV. I'm waiting for that to be
NBC, the white people at NBC ain't that stupid. They ain't picking that up. You ain't going to see it on NBC. You can see it on ABC. You ain't going to see it on nothing. You ain't going to even see that on BET. Yeah. And you ain't going to see it there because white people own that too. That's why you get what you get on there too. How can that be black entertainment if white people run it?
That's absolutely right. Well, look, let's wrap this up, man. We gave the people a lot today. And we got save some for next week because we can go on for hours.
Oh, we can go on.
We can go for hours.
We can go.
We've been going for an hour already, so
right.
And we ain't running out of steam. So
we got enough for 2 shows.
But look, we gonna go ahead. We gonna wrap it up right here on that. Make sure you tune in next time for the next episode, and definitely go ahead plug the restaurant again. And let them know where you are and where you be and all that good stuff.
Go Vegan Philly. Conshohocken, PA. That's Go Vegan Philly on Instagram and Facebook. Conshohocken, PA, 401 Fayette Street, inside the Eisenberg's Deli. You know what I'm saying? This is good that we do this, that we got a platform that we can really speak our real minds and our real hearts. And no one should be offended when somebody's speaking what they feel. No, it don't matter if you agree with it or not. They just gave you the real of what they feel and what they're seeing and what's going on. You know what I'm saying? If you're offended by the truth, then go kill yourself. Because the truth ain't going to change just because you don't want to hear it or you don't want to see it.
Ain't that
you know what I'm saying? It was a sunny day today. I went outside. The sun was out. Just because I closed my eyes don't make the sun go away. It's going to be there.
Right.
It's going to be there, man. And we got to start having these conversations so we can fix ourselves. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to agree with everything. You shouldn't have to only speak when you got something to say that people agree with. Speak your piece, whether somebody agree or not. Speak your piece, whether you're nervous or not. You better speak it. Like they say, speak now or forever hold it. Or forever hold it.
Right.
But you better say something. You better say something. You better do something about it. I mean, because a lot of people got a lot to say, but nobody got nothing to do. That's very interesting to me.
Absolutely. Now, hey, listen. If you want to hit us up, if you got some opinions on what we're saying, hit us up. Leave a comment and all that good stuff. You know, we'll bring it up. We ain't afraid of comments. Let us know.
That's right.
And before we go, I do gotta say something about you real quick, Sean, because I had to laugh a little bit because of an assumption I made. But I had to laugh at you a little bit. And even if you change my mind, I'm still gonna laugh because it was still funny to me when I made the assumption. I saw a post from you today on Instagram. As a post of which I've never seen you make before. Okay, it was a selfie. It was a selfie, and the caption said, "What y'all doing?" I said, "This dude is bored."
I'm bored.
I said, I ain't never seen him do that. I said, he's bored. I had to laugh.
Bored out of my mind. Like we knew he bored. Oh, he'll never do this. If he doing this, he bored as ever.
He's bored out here, man. I said, this dude bored, man. I said, let's record a show, man. Let's give him something to do today.
Please, I was so happy you called. You see, as soon as you call, yeah, let's do it. Come on, let's do it.
I had to laugh at that. That was funny as hell, man. But look, man, I appreciate you being here with us again, man, and definitely check us out right here. And like I said, we're on iHeartRadio, we're on iTunes podcast, whatever that's called. We're on Spotify, we're on Google, all that. So check us out on all the platforms. Check us out twice, and tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend to check us out. You know what I mean?
Let's do it.
We want to hear y'all opinions. All right.
Absolutely.
We'll talk to y'all next time. Peace.
Peace.